guards David DeJulius and Mika questions for the student athletes.
Dave, start of the second half, it looked like you guys turned up the pressure defensively. Did you feel like that could you feel that shift in the momentum that they couldn't get comfortable and get their offense started?
Yeah, most definitely. We knew that they were a great offensive team. They had some great sets. And at halftime, I was kind of saying I wanted to turn it into a rock fight. They were doing a great job, and I felt like they were very comfortable in running their action. So, I kind of wanted to put our conditioning and our athleticism in factor, and I feel like we did a great job of that in the second half.
Micah, could you feel the lid come off the rim when you hit that first three? You guys didn't make one in the first half. It's pretty rare to feel like everybody was like, all right, we can relax now.
Yeah, that's a good thing about, Fifth Third and playing for Cincinnati. The crowd, they give us a lift every time. I just want to say thank you to y'all for this year, for coming out and supporting us every game. But I definitely felt the spark, though, for sure.
So you guys probably didn't know what to expect from the crowd tonight, right?
Right. You come out there and it's full pack, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a blessing just playing for Cincinnati,
Did it feel like the energy was different?
Yeah, it did. I could feel it, chills, having chills out there.
I know he's not up here, but it seemed like Landers was pretty amped up for this game, obviously going against some people that he knew. Could you guys sense that or maybe hear him talking to the bench down there?
Yeah, he a competitor. I didn't see that before the game, but, when you get in between those lines, man, the competitive juices get to flowing.
What did it mean to be able to come back here? You had a couple off games. That's not the way you wanted to go out. You get another game.
You want me to go on?
You've had two really good ones right here.
Sorry. Let Headman get in the middle. I'm sorry. Can you ask that question again, sir? I completely lost it.
Your last couple games weren't what you're used to. You had a good senior day here. You get a chance to come back and kind of do it again. How did it feel?
Oh, it felt great. Me and Coach had a meeting, and he said respond. That was just my mindset going in. Respond, do anything I can to get a win. I was pleased with our performance, especially in that second half.
Coach said that you guys had maybe a little icy relationship early in the rivalry between the two of you. And
who's that?
who do you think?
Oh, between Mike and I?
Yeah, and he said things are good now. You just talk about that how much respect you have for him and what you knew you were going to get here.
We've had a chance to visit on the road the last couple summers since I've gotten here, and he's gotten to Virginia Tech. But he was at Wofford for such a long time and built this incredible, sustainable program. And we were the new kids on the block at one point, and they were just kicking our butt, man. I mean, and trying to figure out how to get our program to the level of that program, like trying to catch them, made us such a better program and made me such a better coach. And then we kicked his butt for a while, and then he came back his last year and had the top 25 team and kicked our butt again. But we've talked on there, and listen, we were not on speaking terms there for a long time. There was no love lost between the coaching staffs, the players, the two programs. But when I saw him on the road after I got here and he'd been at Virginia Tech, we kind of embraced, and because I think we both realized the competition made us both better. So I have tremendous respect for him as a coach and what he's doing at Virginia. I mean, they won the ACC tournament a year ago at Virginia Tech. I mean, that's one heck of an accomplishment. So I have tremendous respect for him, and now we've kind of become friends again. So that's neat. I do want to say this. I know I was with my mom, so that I think I get a pass for that. But she said she wanted to come in and see David DeJulius. So there you go. But I do want to say this. I think we've been a team that goes as David goes, and I mean that. This has been. We want to be in the NCAA tournament, but we've had a heck of a year. I mean, we've really overcome things. We've improved. We've grown the program, and when Dave plays with that kind of energy and motion and passion, which he's done all year long and responded all year long, the team follows suit. And in the second half, he comes out and starts picking up 94 feet. That energy, that fire, it was incredible how it affected everybody on the team. And then I thought the rest of our team responded and played really hard. And who we were in the second half is Bearcat basketball. And it's neat to see these guys figuring out how to do that more consistently. And the last thing I'll say before you guys ask more questions to all of us, what a crowd. I mean, we're at one of the unique places. It's the freaking NIT. And this is a program that goes to a lot of NCAA tournaments. and people come out, and not just come out in droves for the NIT, and not many places do that for the NIT. Even the places they come out, they don't always come out for the NIT. They come out in droves, and they were loud, and they lifted us tonight. And I hate we can't be back in here. I was begging John Cunningham, can we find a way to play again? But, I don't think it's possible. So I want to thank everybody that came out and lifted our team tonight and supported us.
You look down at the rebounding, 42-29 there. Odie finished with 8. Vic finished with 9. What did you think of those two guys' performance down there? Obviously, they had the mismatch there, and they took advantage of it.
I thought Odie goes to bed rebounding, he sleeps rebounding, he walks around rebounding. I mean, he was rebounding from the first possession. I think he gets the first basket of the game on an offensive rebound. And he's just been the consummate effort guy all year. I thought in the second half, Vic got to the board a little bit better. Lander starts getting to the offensive board. We started rebounding more collectively, and I was really pleased with our rebounding in the second half.
Let's do a few more questions for the student athletes, and we'll let them go.
Micah, probably don't know, intensity-wise, again, I know the crowd probably helped with that, but could you feel, whether it was Dave's defense or maybe just the tightness of the game, the intensity kind of crank up there early second half?
Yeah, definitely. And like Coach said, and I just feel whenever, when Dave, he had that energy, it lingers onto other guys. And like I said, like when we see Dave going pressing up full court, that makes us want to, get in the grit and be gritty with him. So I definitely felt that energy, and I think Dave started it for sure.
The way you guys shoot, did you think you'd ever have a half where you didn't hit one? I mean, you eventually did, and then it was 6, I think, at the end, or 6.
And then, like, that's the good thing about, having Odie, Vic, and Landers on them guys getting on the glass, because even though we're missing threes, we're getting second chance points, and, I feel like that plays a big part with us if we're not making shots.
How much have you guys grown closing out games? There were struggles and hurdles to get over, and then you had a couple go your way. You have this one tonight, it gets to 6, and then you push that out to 9 and 10, and how much more confidence have you gotten down the stretch?
A lot more confident. I feel like what plays a big factor in that is experience. I feel like last year we maybe lost a few close games, and then you got guys, the returning guys, have been in those positions and kind of know what to do. And, our coaching staff put together great practice plans. We've been working on situational things down the stretch, and, it's a beauty to see, experience and what you work on in practice coming to fruition in the game.
You guys have talked about Dan and how it's coming for him. That little stretch in the first half, is that, just what you guys see every day? He gets a spin move, hits a 12-footer, has a great pass, flashes so far.
Yeah, I call him Diaper Dandy, freshman, talented, still raw, and, man, he got so much. It's amazing to see how good of a player he is now, and so much room to grow. I said it before, I stood up here and said, watch out for Tari Eason, and I feel like, Dan, can have that same type of impact, and I'm just, excited to be a big brother of his and watch his journey, but he's a heck of a player.
So lottery pick, and what next year?
I wouldn't be surprised, but, he'll do whatever it takes.
And I hate it because he didn't get many minutes in the second half, but it was just the right call the way these guys were playing. We were playing great. We put him in. They were attacking him a little bit in the high ball, and these guys were just in a rhythm. So I hate that he didn't get those minutes, because he's deserving of them now, and he's earned his way into our top of our rotation. And so we'll expect him to play a lot more against Hofstra.
Can you see the difference in him, his confidence, just the way it looks like on that spin move baseline, that might have been a ball that he just kind of wildly put up on the rim earlier in the year.
Yeah,
this year he goes.
What I've seen different, Chad, is his approach every day in practice. He's kind of turned into a sophomore. Like, he's more focused. He's ready to work. He's always been great with his work ethic, but he didn't quite have the purpose because he didn't understand. And for 5 or 6 weeks now, he's been a different dude, kind of like a sophomore. And so you're not surprised when you're starting to see it in games.
Any more questions for David or Micah?
Yeah, David, so Coach emphasized on your defense here tonight. Second half, you turned it up, 14 points. You went 8 of 9 from the free throw line. What worked for you in the second half there to really get things going on the offensive end as well?
Oh, I think my defense kind of created offense for me. Just kind of bringing that relentless pursuit. And I feel like, when you kind of in attack mode, plays just find themselves, at that point. So I feel like that kind of worked for me.
All right, we'll we'll let David and Micah go. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Some rest.
It's really last time, so thank you.
Would they ever get to you?
Who knows?
That was it.
I mean, you got a game Sunday.
And then all of a sudden, what happens? The ball finds you.
Chuck here too.
Okay. Bring him back here.
Questions for Coach Miller?
What did you think when you saw Virginia Tech pop up the other night? I didn't get to be here Tuesday, but
I just chuckled. You know, I chuckled because, you know, number one, Landers played there, and he played for Mike and for Buzz. He didn't play games for Buzz because he was I think a red shirt, but he played a year for Mike. So I chuckled, and then I just saw Mike in the hallway. It's like he said how many times we played against each other. I said I don't know, but it was 9 years, and you know it was again he is programmed by the time when I got the job at UNCG was already established. He'd been to NCAA tournaments, and he kicked our tail for a while. But after we kind of got our program right, we had battles, and we now enjoy talking about it. We talked about it a couple times tonight. I will say, and I said it to them there, they missed some good looks, and they're a great shooting team, so that this one could have gone the other way to kind of give them some credit there. But he's a terrific coach. That maybe one of the most creative offensive coaches we have in our game.
You mentioned yesterday how efficient this Virginia Tech team was from behind the arc. Held them to just 23% tonight. What was really working for you guys there?
Well, yeah, they missed some good ones, guys, and guys that shoot great percentages missed some good ones. But we did do some funky things. At least we tried to do some funky things to take them out of rhythm. You know, one time we line up in zone and go man, and we tried to trap them coming up the floor. Then we kind of faked it a couple times. We were switching some things we don't normally switch. We messed it up, but sometimes when you try something, even if you mess it up, it takes people out of rhythm. So I give our guys credit. But they tell you what, they got some pretty good looks there that didn't go, and that's basketball sometimes. And we had that against Houston. I mean, we had layups and threes, and they didn't go. So sometimes that's how it goes.
For what it's worth, I think you knotted up 9-9 with Coach overall record.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, that's something, because I'm telling you, he kicked our tail at the beginning, and then his last year he kicked our tail after we kicked his tail a little bit. But that's something, because he had a heck of a program at Wofford.
52 points second half. Was that kind of just Dave taking over and defense leading to offense along with the crowd?
No, I thought Dave set a tone, and I thought our kids came out and played their tails off like that. I told them in the locker room, that's what makes me proud as a coach, and we play with that kind of intensity and effort. And it wasn't always pretty. I mean, we made a bunch of defensive errors. You know, we turned it over a couple times, and you know, but like it was Bearcat basketball, at least how we want it to be all the time. And to me, when you play the right way and you play with the right intensity, good things happen. It's like the basketball gods, you know, they're going to let the ball go in all of a sudden. And, you know, it was nice to see it go in, but I thought we willed it in because of our effort and our energy and ability to share the ball. We moved it so much better in the second half, guys. It was stagnant in the first half, and I thought the ball moved so much better.
Coach, coming off a loss Saturday in Fort Worth, what does it say about the character of your team, the way they played tonight?
Yeah, it's a great question. Dave, you know, mentioned it. You know, I've said this team is a team that responds over and over and over again, and they've set a standard for our program that no matter what happens, we're going to respond. I think what I've been proud of is every time their backs have gotten in a corner this year, they've responded. You know, one thing I've challenged them on all year is let's respond quicker. You know, let's respond in game. Let's respond the next possession, and they've improved in that way all year. But I've never worried because of their character intrinsically that when things aren't going well, they're going to respond. They're competitive guys that are about winning.
Dave said at halftime he wanted to turn this into a rock fight. Is that what you heard or your interpretation?
He said it to me walking out the court to start the second half. So I'm going to turn this into a rock fight. I said, well, we're going to win then.
Hofstra, do you know much about them?
I watched some of the end of their game on TV last night at Rutgers. It looked like Rutgers had a great environment too, and that was a wild game. I mean, Rutgers had it. Looks like they had it won, and you know, then Hofstra finds a way. It looks like Speedy's done a heck of a job with that program, and you know, I don't know much, but I was learning watching, and they ran a great side out play to kind of keep them in the game, and then man, they banked a 3 in overtime. You know, but they made a heck of a run. So, from coming from a mid-major program, I realize how good you have to be in those leagues, the Colonial and the Southern Conference, some similarities. Like, I realize how good you have to be to get to the NIT. In those leagues, you have to win the regular season and then not win your tournament to get a bid. And so you already know, because I've done it before, how good their team is to be at this point. And then you also know that now Cincinnati's coming to Hofstra. That doesn't happen often. That'll be a really big game for their fans and their program. And so it'll be a really good test for us. I told the guys in the locker room it'll be like Northern Kentucky on steroids, and we're going to have to show that we've improved a lot since the Northern Kentucky game.
We don't talk about that one.
Chad, when you're in my position, you remember all that stuff, man. It don't ever leave you.
Any other questions? Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks, guys.